Are the majority of Reddit users liberals? Yeah, people on Reddit tends to be younger than the average American. Reddit tends to be more tech-savvy than average American, and those demographics tend to be a little bit more liberal than the average American, and liberals hold a slight majority in the American population overall anyway. Left-leaning and liberal are different. Reddit is definitely left-leaning, but it's definitely not mostly liberals. Depends on the community subs you go to. There are huge groups of conservatives in certain areas of the site. There are huge groups of socialist leftists in other areas. You'll see different views get highlighted in different subreddits and even at different times of the day within the same subreddit. Median political ideology on Reddit is pro-social democracy. Yes, probably 10 to 1. Yes, except for subs like r/Ask an American where the demographic is decidedly more right-wing than the rest of Reddit. Though liberal is a center-right ideology at its core, so they are still liberal, they just get very angry being told that. Yes. Not just a majority, but a vast majority. I believe it comes down to character demographics. Most Republicans tend to not use as much social media and don't spend as much time on the internet. I do believe there are plenty of conservatives that use Reddit, but they don't actively post or comment. Left-leaning? Yes. Liberal? No, but there are plenty of liberals and they heavily moderate the subs they post in. Same for all other conservatives. I would argue that a good portion identify as leftists. Liberals still believe in capitalism. The true left starts at anti-capitalism. What's problematic is that the moderation of most big subreddits leans absurdly left. As a European who immigrated to the US and has always voted center-left in Europe, I would be called a socialist by some conservatives and Democrats since I'm able to vote in the US. Still, I've been called racist and anti-LGBT several times for respectfully disagreeing in conversations. I've even had some of my posts deleted. This creates an issue for people like me who don't subscribe to all leftist views and get insulted or punished for it. We can feel pushed away from the left because it seems like the left don't want us. You're probably right, assuming you're from the US. The rest of the world is mostly left of the US. I suspect there are more conservative-leaning folk than you think, but that group tends to remain silent because of fear of reprisals, banning, or just general nuisance. I'll out myself. My leanings are more conservative, but not perfectly so. I believe people have a right to keep what they earn, and that individual freedom should be preserved, and most of my beliefs stem from that. I don't care what the major voices on the right say, though. I'm not blindly following along. Could I engage in argument on what I believe? Most assuredly, and in other venues, I do. However, Reddit doesn't lend itself towards that kind of open discussion. I do not believe that my beliefs can or should separate me from others, though. I'll happily talk about anything with anyone, even if I don't agree with them on the topic. Liberal or not, we're still people, and those beliefs don't define you. Your character does. Reddit is a liberal echo chamber and 95% of subs, my friend. I don't consider myself a liberal or anything else. I don't want label. I do feel, though, that it is paramount for me and everyone else to be a critical thinkers, to keep my eye on the future, while considering the past to try and make things better for everyone, while, at the same time learning from experience. I think the labeling comes into play to chastise people in an effort squash good ideas that will help them by using that as an excuse, making them seem bad or crazy. I'm an older person. This liberal versus conservative blah blah is something relatively new. It's just a nasty tool, mostly instigated by people who are Republicans and rich. 24-hour news. I'm talking to you. Yeah. Reddit is one of the only places where genuine conversation takes place, and where fact-checking actually happens. Majority for sure, significant minorities of various other factions. There's a clear set of views that one could describe as Reddit ideology. Probably the Bernie Sanders platform was the closest to that, and you all know what I mean if you were on here back then. There is a saying that socialism is for snots and pensioners. In short, usually the older you are, the more center or right-wing you become. That would explain it. There is, however, something that worries me here in Reddit. It's the amount of communist or neo-communist profiles spreading false and inaccurate data.